This channel is made possible by viewers like you. My viewers, subscribers, and patrons greatly help to keep this channel going. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for all of you. Please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any uploads. And if you'd like to go the extra mile, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you'll get access to what I'm working on, previews of upcoming content, and even early videos, along with other tier options for those that are interested. Thank you, and now on to the video. The indie market always continues to surprise me. It seems like if I'm in need of a specific genre, something in an old style but in a new way, or something completely unique, I can find it there. Outside of the handful of indie titles that get propped up by the big media throughout the year, there are many that go under the radar, and in many cases, a lot of these titles may not even reinvent the wheel, but rather just manage to deliver a very fun experience. Sometimes I just crave a game like that. It has a bit of familiar elements to it, but delivered in a good way that just provides a quality experience. I don't always need something genre defining. Sometimes I just need some good fun, and Achilles Legends Untold is turning out to be that kind of a game for me. This is a really fun hack and slash RPG that combines elements of ARPGs with some Souls-like elements. It is also one that captured me right away and has continued to keep my attention, and I think it might be a bit underrated and overlooked too. Something that I consistently want to see when I play a game is one that can manage to pull me right in, especially with its introduction. Now, this might be done through having an engaging story or plot element that flips everything on its head, and through this it pulls the player in. Another might be a set of gameplay mechanics or events that leave their mark on us, and we just want to keep experiencing that stuff. With Achilles, while the narrative does show some promise at the start, it was more the setting, and especially the gameplay mixed with the progression, that was what kept me wanting to come back to this one. Story-wise, you start out at the Battle of Troy. It is important to note that in terms of scale, the game does a good job of selling the setting, even though you are not fighting armies of people. Instead, these encounters are more intimate and provides a satisfying way to get the player up to speed on the basic mechanics and enjoying the action. Plus, the setting itself is really cool, as it mixes the classic story with other fantasy-like elements. This definitely feels like the case where the gameplay is the main focus point, and the narrative is there to usher you to the next piece of action. One of the best aspects to Achilles Legends Untold is the open world itself. In many ways, you have seen this structure before, a starting blank map with question markers all around. Now, the game does point you in a direction for your main quest, so if you desire a more directed experience, that is there for you. But I am one of those people that if you give me the direction of the main objective, I tend to go in all the other directions that I can find first. There's this mixture of typical checkbox-like open world stuff, with fun exploration that I really enjoyed. For example, you might see a question mark on your map, but you have no idea what you're going to find when you get there, or what you'll find along the way. Maybe you'll encounter new enemies, optional sellers to investigate, or something else altogether. Plus, I really love how the game does a good job at getting you to its most interesting aspects. For example, the first level at the Battle of Troy is rather short, and once you're in the open world, much of the rails are off, if you want it. I am sure many of us have played games that featured an open world, but it was very restrictive or even slow to get to the point to let the player run wild and enjoy this space. It can be frustrating to play a game with an open world like that, and then restrict that access until a specific story point. Now sure, right away you cannot go everywhere within Achilles, but it is surprising how much of the open world you can actually go through. This unguided nature feels like all of that adventure and discovery is player initiated, so now all of those experiences feel even more personal, because you chose to do them instead of a quest telling you to go to that area. At the same time, Achilles provides both that openness for player initiated discovery, along with a more guided experience with quests. I knew that this game had some open world aspects to it, but I was surprised how it all ended up working, at least so far. Now I do want to clarify that Achilles feels like a mixing of a Souls game with a Titan Quest setting. To clarify, the game does operate like many Souls-like games, but the game is not as punishing or as abstract as something that you would find with a From Software title. When you encounter something new, the game pops up a new tutorial to give you a brief tip on what you need to know. This might be for a combat mechanic or something related to the leveling system, so if you are someone who is more put off by that abstractness, you might end up liking this title more. As you defeat enemies, you'll gain experience points. Once your bar is full, you'll gain a skill point. Something to note as well that when you die, you will drop all of your experience that you had before the next skill point is earned. So you do not lose any of your unused skill points upon death, but the current set of experience is what you will drop. Again, it's little elements like this where the game feels a bit more straightforward and fair. Leveling is pretty fun as you choose which skill points, or in cases even skills, you can earn. Depending on what you dump your points into, this might change what weapons you focus on. For example, if you find a weapon that is more focused on endurance, then strength for its damage bonus, you may want to favor that skill over another. And better yet, it seems like you can respec your character at any time. So that tells me the game greatly encourages you to mix and match, and try new skill combinations and weapons to find ones that really fit your playstyle.
Get him!
When it comes to the combat, I really like how delightfully hack and slashy it is. There is a decent amount of blood and dismemberment. Attacks have enough sound and punch to them to have this nice impact as well. Plus, as I keep playing, it seems like I keep encountering new weapons to try out, along with different combinations. For example, you might want to go with a two-handed weapon, or opt to go with one and a shield. Or maybe you'll dual wield two altogether. This is something that I want to continue to explore because it seems like the options for player expression through combat are more than it might initially seem. Combat, progression, and especially exploration are what keeps me coming back. I have had some minor hiccups so far in terms of performance. I am playing on the PC, and even with toying around with some of the settings, I get some stutters, and I think this is more related to the game loading. Little annoying when it happens, but it doesn't kill the experience. This is also the type of game where I want to run around and even grind. Not because I feel like I have to, but rather because I want to try out new weapon combinations, earn more skill points, and find new interesting items. This is a lot of fun. Achilles Legends Untold is turning into quite a surprise for this year. The combat is fun, violent, and engaging. The rewards keep you hooked, and the exploration and player expression is what makes this title really hard to put down. Like I mentioned before, I just enjoyed running around the open world and seeing what I could find. I haven't even touched much of the main quest, and the fact that the game lets you do this right out of the gate is really cool too. This is a title that I will happily report back on, but so far I'm really enjoying it. Have you played Achilles Legends Untold? If so, what are your thoughts on it? If you're interested in being notified of new videos, please hit the subscribe button and bell. And if you would like to support the channel and get early access to content, please check out my Patreon. All of the links will be at the end of this video and within the description. And thank you very much for watching.